What's up, you guys? We are on getting on a Highway 99 northbound right now from Highway 58 in Bakersfield, California. It's about time to make a delivery to the Walmart DC in Shafter, which is not very far away. Right there, that exit on 99 would be exit 24. I'll be getting off at exit 31, which is 7th Standard Road. I will be having some traffic delays on the way up to 7th Standard Road. Looks like they start right around just before where Highway 204 runs back in 99. And it continues up to the curve. Can't remember if that's Oildale or whatever. I can't remember what that exit is up there before 7th Standard. Pearl Haggard, or no, I think Pearl Haggard is 7th Standard also. Something like that, I forget. Somewhere in that ballpark, though. It's going to be stop and go from what I'm seeing on the map. So I'll just do a little bit of an intro here. And then when we get to the delayed area, I'll probably run high-speed footage all the way up to the exit at 7th Standard and then continue talking from there. So kind of help keep the video reasonable length, not too long, not too short, I guess. Anyway, this is that load. This is the load that I picked up in the Fort Worth drop yard. It was originally picked up by another driver at the Sanderson Farms plant in Tyler, Texas, which means it's a chicken load. And of course, it'll end up over here at this Walmart DC. And I honestly don't know what stores this Walmart DC services, because when I ran Walmart Dedicated in Colton, the Riverside DC that we ran out of, they usually handled all the Walmart stores here in the Central Valley. Now, anywhere between, I'd say Fresno on down to the Mexican border for the most part. So I don't know if this DC took over some of that responsibility when it opened up. This DC just opened up for the first time, I believe. October or something like that of 2021 or 2020, I forget. I have previous videos of me delivering here, though. I know the first time I came here, they told me that the place had barely even been open. I think it was 2020 when it opened. But then I think that was just for the Walmart private fleet drivers, and then it opened to OTR traffic, I think earlier half of last year, if I believe. So it's a brand new facility. I'm coming up on the slowdown here by the 204 interchange. It's Olive Street, that's what I was thinking about earlier. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and run high-speed footage here for you guys. Try to help shorten down the length of video for you guys, and then do some more talking when it's time to exit the freeway. Alright guys, it is time to exit here. 7th Standard Road and Myrtle Haggard Drive, exit 31. Gonna head west on 7th Standard. On the way there, I do have a couple of topics I guess I can talk about here. One of them is going to be driving a manual transmission truck in stop-and-go traffic, or heavy traffic like I just was. And the other one, I'm going to talk a little bit about HOS clock management, particularly with regard to reefer freights and running on recap hours. Alright, so first, let's talk about shifting gears in heavy traffic if you're in a manual transmission truck. A lot of people have that mentality. They don't like driving manuals in stop and go traffic, and the reason why is because nobody knows how to leave space in front of them. They're always going to be right on the ass of the person in front of them, so they're constantly having to make do gear changes. Some of them unnecessary, and sometimes they even have to hit the clutch pedal. Now, mind you, most drivers who drive a manual transmission truck are going to float the gears. Actually, I've been floating the gears the whole day today. That traffic delay we just had there, I only touched my clutch pedal one time, and that was only when I was creeping in third gear, trying to downshift to second to avoid, to try to adjust for the truck that was in front of me. And yeah, but since my transmission is driving the truck forward a little bit, I have to get the load off the transmission before I can actually do the gear change. So the way to do that is to put just a slight bit of throttle in, just enough to get it off the transmission where it's binding, where it's getting held up by the transmission, I guess, or kept moving by the transmission. When you put just a tad bit of throttle in there, where it'll accelerate it, where now it's no longer bound up on the transmission, and then I can do my gear change. The other way would be to just hit the clutch pedal. Hit the clutch pedal, it'll come right out. Don't push the clutch pedal all the way in, but just enough to get it out of gear, and then I can rev the engine up to the RPM I need it to be at to get into the next gear, or to the next lower gear, which isn't much at that speed. I have to play a game of how few gear changes can I do by the time before I get out of a particular like heavy traffic situation, even if they're stop and go. Can I predict where the stops are going to happen? Can I compensate for them by going by leaving more gap in front of me before I get to them? I gotta figure out what Swift's gonna do here with their speed. I want to speed up because it's a 65 zone, but I'm not sure if Swift's gonna speed up or keep going what they're doing. So anyway, he's gonna lollygag. So I'm not trying to play that way. Okay, anyway, like I say, most people like auto shift over manual specifically because of stop and go conditions. And I always find it funny because there's really not much to it. Stop riding people's asses so much when you're in stop and go, and you don't have to worry about it. I hate having to hold my foot on the clutch pedal. My leg gets sore or whatever. Alright, like I said, at least in that situation there, I touched the clutch pedal one time only, and it was just to get out of the gear that I was creeping in. That was it. Otherwise, I floated every time and minimized the unnecessary gear changes too. As you might have seen, when the traffic started to pull away, I left plenty of space because I knew the four-wheeler traffic in the adjacent lane was going to try to squeeze through anyway. So, let them do it. It's not a big deal. You don't have to be cock blocking every car out here. Just let them flow around you. Everybody will actually get through there a lot quicker if you do it. If everybody were to do that and leave space. That's another subject there. I don't want to go into too much detail on that. That's something that might help you out there if you're driving a manual transmission truck, or if you're driving an auto shift and you're thinking about switching to a manual truck. Like I say, one of my, as I call him, my protege or trucker son, Cody, he recently got the auto shift only restriction removed from his CDL, I don't know, a couple months ago. And now he's driving a 13-speed truck for a carrier that, for Super T. They have both auto shift and manual trucks there. Alright, so that covers that topic. The next topic will be about HOS management, or hours of service, for those of you guys who are not truckers. Because we have 4 different clocks we work with. This is just to educate you guys a little bit who are not truckers. We have an 8-hour clock, an 11-hour clock, a 14-hour clock, and a 70-hour clock. I'm not going to go into the full details of what each clock does, but that's kind of the gist of it. Now, your 70-hour clock is important when it comes to recap hours. Why I'm bringing this up? Because I got offered a pre-planned while I was at home yesterday evening, that picks up this afternoon in Colton, and it's going to Ochalata, Oklahoma. I told him, I sent him a message saying, hey, I see a text message about it. I don't have any other details. I don't even know where it's going to. And I'm going to have to check. I knew I was going to be running on recaps anyway, so I told him I'm going to wait till I get to my truck in the morning, and I'll double check my hours when I get there, and we'll see from there. And they said, okay, no problem, and they reset the thing so it showed up on my TransFlow. I had to double check how many miles it was from my house to here in Shafter, then over to Colton, and then over to Ochalata, and I think it came out to 1,760 miles, 1,730, something like that. Okay, not this street here, but the next one, going to turn on. Now this light coming up right here, we're going to make a right turn at. This, I think, is a Target DC. Yeah, Target DC right here. Oh, it smells good here. It smells like garlic. I love that smell. Okay, so here's where it's kind of an important thing there, because when I got back to the truck this morning and started reviewing my hours, because that Walmart Colton load is due in Ochalata on the 15th. Unknown time yet, but I know it's going to be in the morning hours. They don't normally schedule those deliveries until the load's already been picked up and is on its way. But, alright, so I checked my hours against how many I'm going to need to get here and then over to Colton and to Ochalata, and it turns out I have enough hours to get there on the delivery date, but I'm gonna need those recaps for the 15th in order to get it there. And from what I calculate, I'm gonna need about 5 to 6 of those recap hours for the 15th to accomplish that. Real simple here. Just take this road straight up to the stop sign. You'll see a Ross Distribution Center up ahead on the left side. We're going to turn left and go right past the south end of the Ross DC. Looked like Sierra England. I could have turned on the other street while I was on 7th Standard. That's actually where Sierra England's coming from. I don't remember that road being open before, though. Last time I came here, that road did not go through. So I was a little surprised that Sierra England was able to make it through there. And I know from past experience, Google would try to tell me I could go that way, and I couldn't. But I see enough traffic now. I'm going to wait on this Suburban, or Tahoe, whatever that thing is. right lane ends up ahead before the intersection that I'm going to turn at. So I'll just stay here. There's the Ross DC. Alright, so when it comes to running your shifts, though, your clock management, how you run your shifts each day can actually have an impact on what loads become available to you, or what loads are options for you and which ones are not options for you later in the week when it starts coming time to work on your recap hours. Case in point, what did I have? 25 hours left on my 70 or something like that when I just checked. I got reefer fuel at the Pilot in Boron this morning. We're at Kramer Junction. Where US 395 and California 58 meet up. I guess this lane does actually go all the way through. Okay. Well, anyway, while I was there, I checked my hours, and I think I was down to like 22 or 25, whatever the hell it was, hours left. I forget. Now we're going to make a right turn here, by the way. Go ahead and stay on the bottom end of 6th gear. I usually drop into the low side gears when I'm making turns, but bottom end of 6th gear, which is the lowest high side gear I have, works too, I guess, especially for a larger intersection like that. Okay, so that's what I have left on my 70. I got nothing coming back tonight, and then I get 2 hours to change back tomorrow night. Now, I couldn't really do anything about that, really, because of, well, actually, I could have, to an extent. Because when I did a 34-hour reset in Florida, in between the Orlando delivery and the pickup in Auburndale, and after I picked up the load in Auburndale, I ended up just shutting it down after only 60 miles. We're going to go straight ahead here, by the way. Damn it. Freaking light changed right when I was in the middle of going to skip shift, and then it changed. I had to change my plan on all that. So I have to look at my speed to double check what gear I want to go into to make sure I go into the right gear so I don't look like an idiot grinding the gears. Alright, anyway, like I said, I stopped my shift early. Because I said in that video, I don't want to deal with the Friday afternoon shit show on I-75 in Florida. So I opted to just park my truck at the Loves at Polk City, even though I had several hours I could have still ran. Now, there's a lot of trucks here in line. I see at least 8 trucks there in line, and I'm going to have to wait for, that's odd, they're usually pretty quick here. There's a lot of trucks trying to check in at the same time, I guess. Actually, I see a Walmart employee already at the 4th truck in line, so yeah, it might move fairly quickly after, the first guy is leaving now. So anyway, like I said, had I ran more when if I had not stopped in Polk City and I'd ran out my shift that night, I probably would have had a better chance of being able to have no problems delivering this upcoming load on time. I probably would have had the hours to get it there, even if I had to deliver right after midnight or something, or real close to it, which would give me a lot more capability of getting the load there, or actually taking the load myself. Now, I did actually, let me go out of driving status. I'm not going to sit here right in front of their driveway. Alright, as soon as these guys ever bother to move forward, I can get by. I'll probably wait for these cars. Oh, no, they're turning. Alright, so alright, so as I was mentioning there, because I only ran a couple hours that day or whatever it was, instead of yeah, I probably could have gotten at least 7, 8 hours out of that day or something. And so when I ended up accepting the pre-plan this morning when I got to the truck, but I did put it in there in the notes saying I'm going to need about going to need my 5:15 recaps to get it there. And I said my best ETA to Ochelada is probably going to be about 0600. So I don't know if they're going to want to keep that pre-plan on me. There's a chance they might want to just give it to somebody else and maybe have me take something that delivers on the 16th instead. And then I can always, maybe deliver the morning of the 16th, pick up something on the 17th that delivers in California on the 20th, and then I'll be home no problem for my my concert that I'll be going to on the 21st. I'm going to the Nightwish concert. For those of you guys who don't know, those of you guys who've watched my channel, my live streams in the past, you guys know I'm a big Nightwish fan, and a lot of you guys might not be familiar with that group, but those of you guys who watch my live streams are definitely familiar with some of their music, because my live streams I've had a tendency to play music while I'm driving for you guys, and it's not unusual at all where I'd have Nightwish music playing. Alright, anyway, don't want to have too much lengthy chit chat here. I kind of mentioned, I think that hopefully covers the HOS management thing. Like I said, I didn't want to deal with the shit show on 75. The other concern I had was showing up to truck stops or rest areas or wherever too late in the evening, and great, now where do I park? There's nowhere to park because the lot's full. Why would I want to put myself through that hassle if I don't need to? So, I'll just take it for what it is. You're not gonna fit here. This truck's coming in line behind me now, and there's not enough room for him to get all the way in. Yeah, you see his trailer's completely blocking the southbound lane now. Okay, anyway, that's cover. I think hopefully that covers that for you guys. You guys might hopefully get a little bit better understanding. So on the reefer freight, we do a lot of live unloads like this one here is going to be. Drive-in, I know they do more drop hooks, so they don't, then sometimes people don't have the patience to sit. Reefer industry, you got to plan on having patience. We do a fair amount of drop hook pickups here at JCT, but the unloads are more often than not live, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I'll cover all that, a little bit more on that detail some other time. We'll have some more, I'll have some more footage here when it's time to dock in, all right? Morning.
Morning. You been here before? All right, go ahead and fill that out for me. 213, boss.
Yeah, thanks.
Yep.
Alright guys, we're on the dock in now. We're going to be getting door 213. I think that'll be a little bit further down on the other side of the office. I want to say 200 will be the furthest door to the south on the other end of the building here. This guy, you see, so now he's blocking the damn lane just to open his doors. So why I always say don't block the lane to open your doors. Yeah, even though it only takes an extra minute or so off of my time, it's a discourteous thing to do for other drivers. It's better to block dock door traffic because they're probably not moving anyway, than it is to be like this where I can't even get by them to get to my own door. So I don't really care. I mean, it might be like only an extra minute or so, not that big a deal, but at the same time, to me, it's like it's respect for other drivers and courtesy. You don't need to be, if all you care about yourself and don't care about how you affect other people, that tells me you don't respect other people. You don't care about their needs or wants, whatever, and all you care about is yourself, and that's more of a problem to me. It's the respect part. It's not the time wasted part. I don't know if there's enough room for me to get around him. Yeah, I think he's so far. I don't know if there's enough room for me to get completely around him. It looks like he's training this other guy. I guess I'm the guy with the cowboy hat's training the guy with the reflective jacket on. So even worse. Idiots training the ignorant. Meanwhile, I'm burning yard move time, and I just told you I'm running on recap, so I don't need to be killing more of my clock than necessary. Okay, where's the guy with the reflective jacket on then? Oh, he's back there. Okay, now I don't know who's training who then. Kind of looked like the guy with the cowboy hat was pointing out stuff to the guy with the reflective jacket, so it made me think he was the trainer, but I don't know. Alright, 213. The guy waved at me like, thanks, whatever. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna wave back at your ass. You're gonna be an asshole and block me when you don't need to, then you don't get a thank you from me, you get a fuck you. Sure no one's coming around through here. Alright. 213's over here in the middle, somewhere about where that white Cascadia is on up ahead. Yeah, he's in 212, so right next to him. It appears there are no wheel chocks on my door, so just going back in. I don't know. It's usually they're pretty finicky at Walmart DCs about having wheel chocks. Can't put a wheel chock in if there isn't one. But I'm a little bit wide there. Might have picked a target too far to the right over here across the lane. I don't know. Those guys coming in just pretty well though. I wouldn't call it perfect, but it's definitely not bad. wait on my pressure to drop to 0, and I'll pull all the way out from under the trailer. We'll have to let them know that I don't have a chock for my trailer, so I can't chock it. Just in case, because I know there are a couple of Walmart DCs that I've been to where they want the seal in there with it. I forget if this one wants it or not. So, as a precaution, I'll go ahead and put it in there with the paperwork. Okay, so from that I'm going to go ahead and get checked in, which is over here in the middle of the building. We already passed by it, right about where that truck was coming out from the other side. And yeah, we'll have some more for you when we dock out, all right? Alright guys, we're all done here. A little bit after 10 a.m., 10:10, 10:11, whatever. Let's get back in and out of here. Got another JCT right next to me on the right. Got two more JCTs down the lane. I just got through talking to one of them. He's a local driver. Okay, and then I'm gonna get hooked up, and after we're done with that and we're on the way out of here, I'll give you an update. Alright guys, so I did have an OS&D, but there were 2 overages and 2 shortages. So in other words, they ordered, hang on, let me check the back of my trailer. Alright guys, so that's my Qualcomm decides to walk right there. Alright, we'll get out of here now. Get checked out. Look, the door, my trailer door is still open until we get past the guard shack. It's Delta 3908. I'm pretty sure he's the same guy who was at the Fort Worth yard at the same time as me, so guess I know where he came from. I bet you his load also came from Sanderson Farms. Yeah, and the guy in the white Freightliner next to him is the one I was talking to. His name's Curtis. He's a local driver. And look like we got another one here too. It's like 4114 Fox. So there are at least 5 of us here right now. I didn't realize we did so much here at this DC. I expect to see that many of us and more at the Walmart DC in Colton, but which I'm sure I will later today. Which we'll talk about that too on the way out of here. This DC is not exactly the busiest though. I did not expect that would be the case. Alright, I want to say the outer lane is the one we need. Could be wrong. I didn't see anything specifying which lane was the OTR lane, which one's the dedicated though. Alright, we are good to go. I've already sent my empty call. Now we're going to head out to Colton for our next load. That'll be going to Ochalata, Oklahoma. Ochalata, of course, is not of course, but about a half-hour drive north of Tulsa. And 50 miles from our terminal, as I call it, the mothership. I did bring up the concern with my HOS, with my DM. And she double checked with the planner to see if they were okay with it, and they said go ahead and run with it. I take that to mean they think they might be able to get me like a 0800 or something like that appointment time. I don't know. See how it goes. If all goes well, that would be how it going. That's actually a decent miles. Like if I do 2 trips like that, yeah, that'll be an over 3,000 mile week next week. So I'll be a happy camper with that. I need the extra miles. Too many times taken off for medical appointments or whatever that are wreaking havoc on my ability to make any money. And it's actually getting frustrating. Last quarter was my worst productive quarter. Let's stay there. Yeah, last quarter was my worst quarter in my 4 years at JCT. It was still enough to get my safety bonus, but not by much. I only had like 31,000 miles logged, or I had more than that logged, but what I got paid for, I think, was just barely over like 31,000 or something like that. And normally, well, actually, no, I logged 31, 32-ish, somewhere around that ballpark, and I normally log anywhere between 35 and 38, I would say, on a normal quarter. Oops, there's 2 turn lanes here, so let's stay on this one. Okay, also I did talk to, I watched, my last video when I picked up this load that I just finished delivering. I made a comment in there about my friend Ryan, and how we had a kind of a disagreement on to slide tandems or not to slide them in strong winds. I'm not going to rehash that topic, because you can always go watch that video if you've not already seen it and see what the differing views are, and you can make your own decision on which one you find more believable or you want to go with, or other stuff. But I'm bringing Ryan's name up here because Ryan just posted a video on his channel. I'm gonna plug his channel for him. He's on here on YouTube as Handies, Handies. At the moment, he only has about a couple hundred subscribers on his channel, but that guy can run. He gets more he runs more miles per year with JCT than I do, and I'm in the higher. I'm in the top 10%, I believe, at the miles that I run, and he's more like up in the top 1%. He definitely knows how to get miles. So, and he did talk in his recent video that he just did a couple while I was on my way over here, en route with the load, I mean, talking about the miles are there, and he's right. If you're not getting miles here with JCT, you're most likely the problem, not JCT. Also, I want to talk one other thing. For those of you guys who are JCT drivers, it's been a lot of concerns with any kind of perceived change. It's being perceived that all these changes that do happen, like in freight cyclicity or whatever, it's getting blamed on the Hirschbach acquisition of JCT, and that is not the case. I seriously, because I guess a lot of trucks are sitting here in California. Some people complaining about having to, sit a day before they get their reload assignment. Freight market changes. The loads available to offer are lower. I've heard the rates that are being offered, like even on, like, say, the Walmart loads out of Colton. A friend of mine told me they were kind of advertising in the past for like $4,000 to $8,000, depending on where they were going. And now they're only going for about $3,000 to $6,000. So, and that's always an issue of fewer loads available and or more truckers available. And what it is right now is there's not as many loads available as there. They're kind of consistent on the same number of trucks that are available, whatever. But I'm not forgetting 2 turn lanes here, even though the sign only said there was 1. So anyway, that's one of the things there. It's normal for the freight market to slow down this time of year, and then with the inflation and other stuff going on economically, that also affects it, and that is affecting it. With fuel prices through the roof right now, shippers are trying to manage their own costs because it's costing, starting to get to a stretching point, where, in my opinion, where fuel costs are too much, and it's translating to too much inflation. It affects shippers too much. Not so much trucking companies, because we charge a surcharge, but it can affect trucking companies in the sense that, shippers will stop offering as much freight because they can't afford to ship as much. So they'll manage their overall cost. I mean, it's just how much of it comes from the fuel surcharge and how much of it comes from competitive freight market rates. And so that is a problem there. Get this turn made here, and then I'm going to end the video up here on 7 Standard. Also, I do a lot of stock market and economic analysis. One of the things that you can watch, look up crude oil futures price. I use Ameritrade. That's who I use for my investing. The symbol on there, if you're using their Thinkorswim platform, is /CL. Or you can even just look up crude oil futures on Google or something and see what the price chart is. It's been pretty steady around in the $100 to $110 a barrel range lately. And it spiked all the way up to $130 when prices spiked originally back in February. Since then, though, it's definitely strongly favored the 100 to 110 barrel neighborhood. So, and it's been pretty stable in the last few weeks. So, I mean, with a little bit less volatility. So with that going on, then the price behavior of gas and diesel should be stable. But it's not stable. You go on the EIA website and look up what the national average prices of gas and diesel are, and then see what the regional price changes are as well. And you're going to see that a couple of weeks ago, the price of diesel fuel went up 34.5 cents per gallon. And that same week, the New England region, their average price for diesel that week went up over 80 cents a gallon. And the Central Atlantic region, theirs went up over 60 cents a gallon that week. And then you had, California was barely 5 cents a gallon increase. Not much at all. I was actually, the national average went up 30 cents faster than the California price average did. So, what does that tell you? We've got heavy supply demand issues, or heavier demand or less supply in the northeastern region. And we did just have this discussion in the Facebook group this morning, and actually Ryan answered the guy's question. So that yes, a certain rumor that because a picture that he saw, what he was wanting to know if it was true. Ryan confirmed it was true, and he's correct. And you can use those fuel prices there to get little clues about what's going on with the broader economy. A national average price went up 34 cents a gallon, but the price of crude oil didn't change at all, really, except in that narrow range it was already in. Okay, that's either got less supply or more demand going on there. And this last week, the price went up another 11.5 cents per gallon. I think it was the same regions that were up over 20 cents a gallon, over 25, something like that, as well as the Gulf Coast region. And then you got California was only up 3 cents a gallon. So, again, that's supply and demand driven issues there. The crude oil price has not changed at all, so the price changes not had anything to do with the price of crude oil. It's been something to do with supply and demand, specifically to gas and diesel. All right, so yeah, it is. You know, people want to speculate that more Hirschbach drivers here in California than they normally see, and them sitting more translates to Hirschbach is stealing some of JCT's loads. That's not really necessarily the case. I'm sure there's some give and take that goes on there to some extent, but like I say, if you're in this industry, it doesn't matter whose name is on the side of your truck. The freight cycles. You know, sometimes it gets weak, sometimes it gets strong, and you just got to deal with it. Don't just use a recent acquisition as an excuse to blame Hirschbach for stealing JCT loads. That's not accurate or right. Not, at least not necessarily. Alright, anyway, we're not too far away from getting back on 99 South. Alternatively, it could have gone the other way as well and gone down another road to get onto I-5 southbound and then take 5 down into the LA Basin and then take 210 across to Colton, but yeah, let's not. I'd rather not go that way. My plan is instead to come back over here to 99, get back on 55 there in Bakersfield, take 14, Highway 14 down from Mojave to Palmdale, and then 138 from Palmdale over to I-15 in the Cajon Pass, and then 15 and 215 down to the Colton area from there. I will be washing out at the I-10 truck stop, which is off the same exit that the Walmart DC's off of, or the exit that most people use, not the same one that I normally use, but same, you know, neither here nor there, I guess. We do have an account with them, so if you are a JCT driver and you need a washout and you're near Colton, that's one of the places you can go. You don't even have to pull up into the normal wash bays. There are 2 lanes there you can use for a regular wash. If the wash bays are already in use, you can actually pull up sideways behind the back of the building that's next to the wash bays too, and they'll wash you out right there as well. So, alright, that's good information for you guys. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this now, and probably might show you guys, start that next video now when I'm just about to get off the freeway at the truck wash or something. We'll add that in there so you can see how that all works out. And then I'll head down over to Walmart to pick up the load. I don't know if it'll be a drop hook or a live. We do a lot of both there, so I'll just go there prepared for both. I already have 3/4 fuel. Just got to have the reefer running and we're good. Anyway, that said, I'm going to call this video a day, and we'll see you guys on the next one, alright? Stay tuned for another video coming soon from the Walmart DC in Colton, California, alright? You guys will have a great day, and thanks for watching. Bye.